You saying on the beats, real talk. 1, 2, 3.
Yo, this is Clinton, the Hip Hop Hercules, the Hip Hop Historian. Today I'm here to talk to you about, in my opinion, the best R&B singers that have the ability to collaborate with hip hop artists. What's up? Off the top, this is a very difficult thing to do because hip-hop and R&B have always been intertwined, and there is a ton of people singing choruses, bridges, verses in hip-hop songs today. But I just want to take a list of 10 and really show you the development of older artists that are still killing in the game, but also give looks to those people that are just beginning to rise and show their ability as incredible singers, and they can also mix their stuff in with hip-hop. Can't forget where it all came from, so shout out to the beginning, the roots of hip-hop that had singing in it, like the Force MDs, saw them live, they're crazy. You know, they had their own albums that were hip-hop jivey, and they also did collaborations with Ghostface in the early days. Bone Thugs and Harmony as a group did rap and singing as well. Nate Dogg, of course, you know what, he invented a certain jive, the chorus singer. Incredible artist, rest in peace. Keith Sweat, Joe, 112, Blackstreet, all those joints. I mean, I'm going to talk about females in the next one, but this one is for the male R&B collaborators, but the female installment is coming. And then we had the new rise, the Akons, T-Pains, and as those men start to fade, respect, I want to talk to you about the people that are hot today.
The black in my back and my boys do too. And my baby mama tripping since she need more loot. Every black
First person on the list has got to be Kobe. He's unknown to a lot of people, even hip-hop fans. I like Kobe because when he started off his career, you know, he's got no albums to himself. He's been on, honestly, not too many tracks even. But when he started, he kept like this manly street singing voice that could only be tempered to a certain amount of different songs. But eventually he kept adapting himself to have a nice pitched tone that matches up with rap joints. If you don't know him, he got popped off with Talking Myself Off Eminem, Raekwon's Rock and Roll, Fabulous's I'ma Do It, which he absolutely kills. I think he molds the entire song. Game, Cat and Dogs off of the Cali mixtape. Joe Budden, All My Head off of his most recent album, No Love Lost. And his most recent feature, I believe, is Smoke DZA's I Don't Know off of Dream Zone Achieved, which is just absolutely dope and shows you the well-rounded artist that he's become. And it's honestly incredible. He takes his R&B talents and makes a rap song full-rounded.
When a rich nigga want you, and your nigga can't do nothing for you.
Chris Brown, Breezy. I mean, he's got countless features on like the biggest commercial records, and he's been doing this for the last 7 or 8 years. Obviously, he's climbed the ladders of success, and he's one of the most well-known names in R&B and hip-hop. But I do not incorporate him with an extreme helping hand in translating R&B into hip-hop. Especially when he raps on the track himself. No talent for that. In order for him to be featured on the track, the song has to be higher pitched and club directed. And I think that he needs to change his vocality in order to become more of a hip-hop integrated artist.
Could've died, but I came out fighting.
Matthew Santos, I think he's so dope. I would have put him lower down the list if he had the recognition that he deserves. To me, he's one of those guys who stays so camp-oriented and goes truly unrecognized as a consequence to that, because the only reason you might know him is from his work with First and 15th, Lupe Fiasco's label, and his tracks with him. Most famously, he did Superstar and Streets on Fire. But if you're a Lupe fan, you know that he also murdered American terrorists. I love his chorus on Fighters. And most recently, he sung in the chorus for the song Mission, Lupe's dope Fuck Cancer anthem. And he's just so talented. I hope he, doesn't necessarily have to leave the Lupe Fiasco realm, but he should open up and expand his artistry in order to show his true talents.
I left no time to regret. Kept my
Andre 3000. I mean, Andre is the greatest rapper of all time. He also has the ability to bring an incredible dose of singing to hip-hop. Although he's the greatest MC to live, you cannot forget the smashes he sings bridges and choruses on. I mean, he's a funky and really intricate type of singer. He kills other rappers with a verse on the track, but you got to pay recognition to the singing as well. Hollywood Divorce, the song Millionaire with Khalees, Ill Call, Crooked Booty, Gwen Stefani's Long Way to Go, not a hip-hop track, but he makes it sound so. Dedication with Lloyd. Shout out to Lloyd as an awesome R&B singer as well. All together now, and more recently where he does the singing portion of a song, he backs up Beyonce on Back to Black for the Great Gatsby album, and that was a dope track. And he's, I think if he really wants to get to that Love Below status again, he would have to integrate the hip-hop as well. He's got to make choruses, and he's an out-of-the-box type of guy, so I don't see him trying to be an R&B singer. He's just instrumentally a genius. He plays all sorts of instruments, but you just can't miss him on that level of status that he has outside of being an MC, actor, and instrumental.
I love that. I love her if she speak another language.
Trigger Trey. I put Trey in the middle of the list. Not only because of his amazing talent as an R&B singer, I think that he's come so far, but also his ability to sonically collaborate real hip-hop artists into his music. Like Chris Brown, he is a top commercial artist, but as contrast, he has the ability to capture the genuine hip-hop sound on his own tracks and as a featured artist. I think in his decade of making music, he's shown us that he's a veteran at R&B, vibed out with hip-hop music.
There's a story in my pain. There's a story in my tears.
Anthony Hamilton, I mean, it's hard to even try and grasp this man's career. I find him to be one of the most talented singers of our generation, if not beyond. People were born to Otis Redding, Al Green back in the day. He is the making love music for our generation. Do not get that twisted. Download his albums and make a baby to him. But also his raspy voice, his different octave vocals makes him to be a genuinely amazing hip-hop collaborator. The only reason he is in number 2 on the list is because of his lack of work in the recent years. I mean, if you know hip-hop, you know how many down south tracks he's done, smash the choruses for, etc. And soulful tracks in general. It doesn't have to be from the south. He's a very dynamic, incredible artist. But as for recently, I can only expand on his features on Nas's most recent tape, Life is Good, and his work with Big Crit. Please, Anthony, get out there. Fabulous shouted you out this week, and just start collaborating with more hip-hop artists so we could have that twang that you bring to the microphone. Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is a different level of skill for today's R&B class. He sounds like a classically trained musician with a certain style that is dope. His hip-hop roots obviously started with his group Odd Future, and he showed his ability to smash records with rappers when he was collaborating with them. On his incredible album, Agent Orange, he has MCs featured onto tracks that he leads, but they still come out as real hip-hop. Andre 3000 on the track Pink Matter, it's an amazing record. Andre raps, and it's still a hip-hop record. And of course, no one is going to forget No Church in the Wild, where he introduces the track, makes a crazy chorus, and ends off the music with nasty vocal bars. Frank Oceans, please keep collaborating with rappers. You are totally welcome in this game. Fuck the haters.
Manhattan fly, Brooklyn bad. Main Stapleton.
Mac Wiles. If you don't know him, please learn about him. He is dope. His first and very recent debut album, New York, A Love Story, was up for a Grammy for this young cat. This album alone shows his ability as not only an R&B artist, a great one for the ladies, but somehow he is someone who can absolutely jam with top MCs. And he's young and he's fresh to the game. On the tape, he's got features with Method Man, Raekwon. There's mad production by Pete Rock. I mean, how much more hip-hop can it get? Not to mention the post-release remixes of songs like My Crib and Henny, where he's got French Montana and Mobb Deep on it, and they show that he can mix so well with his brand.
Yeah, life can please you, but death can tease you. All the day Miko had that.
This one's risky, but BJ, the Chicago kid in the number 2 slot, I give this cat so much acknowledgement because of how much potential he has been showing for years, for a couple years now if you've been sleeping. But I also believe if he continues to pursue it, he can be one of the top R&B artists in the hip-hop game. I mean, first off, why is he not a TDE artist? On one of the most amazing albums, in my opinion, better than Good Kid, Mad City of the recent years, Kendrick Lamar's Section 80, he smashes tracks like Cushion Corinthians. He's on Schoolboy Q's and Ab-Soul's older albums, but he's also on their 2014 releases, Oxymoron and These Days. This year he worked with Freddie Gibbs, Chance the Rapper, and countless other artists, showing his ability to destroy any form of hip-hop and vibe well with any type of hip-hop artist. Gangster, funky, conceptual, and club bangers, it doesn't matter. He's that type of guy. He's the next cat at bat. Watch out.
Just because I cheat on you can't see all I do.
This one I hope was obvious because he was not yet mentioned in the list. The number 1 R&B artist male to collaborate with hip-hop, John Legend, of course. His name speaks for itself. I believe he is our lifetime's most thankful person for the revival of true soul music. Even on his first album, Lifted, he rocks out with verses with Kanye. He did work on Kanye's projects. He's recently given a hand to Rick Ross on some of his tracks. He's got work with Consequence, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z. And don't ever forget, he came out with an entire album with one of the greatest rap groups in history, The Roots, on the record Wake Up. I don't see him being passed as the greatest R&B singer or R&B artist to collaborate with hip-hop artists for a long damn time because the chemistry is too perfect.
Oh, Hercules.